Thank you and welcome to another episode of Modern Endpoint Management with Citrix Endpoint Management demo. Thank you for tuning in, and today I'm going to show you in this short demo is how to configure the Citrix Workspace App by Citrix Endpoint Management App Configure Policy and admx file. It's similar to the Outlook recording or demo you saw before. But it's good that you can also see that our own applications have an admx file which you can configure. So things you need for this to work is, of course, the Citrix Workspace App administrative templates. You can find them in the URL noted here. Additionally, if you want to know more what you can do with the app config policy also for other platforms, have a look at the Citrix Endpoint Management docs page and you will find more information there. What's handy to have close is the GPO editor on your machine, and make sure that you have the Citrix Workspace App administrative templates copy to your system root policy definitions so you can see them in your GPO editor. So how will that look? This is my GPO editor. I already have copied the desired files to the specific location. You can have computer and user configurations, and let's take a look, for example, where the storefront configuration should be, and that should be under the administrative templates of the machine. There are machine and user settings. You will see that in the drop down page. It should be somewhere around here. Citrix components, Citrix workspace, and then you can see all the options you can configure there. So you can configure the updates, diagnostics, and the storefront is here. So one thing to make sure you realize if you do this for modern endpoint management system is that, or systems managed in a modern way, so not domain joined, is that probably they will not be connecting directly to the storefront, but they will be connecting to the NetScaler. So normally you would use this configuration if you connect directly to the storefront in your GPO, but we are connecting to the NetScaler on the outside. So you should use this type of configuration. So there is a difference between how you set things here. So make sure that that you do that correctly. What do we have for other types? The updates, of course, I configured that in my demo. I also did the user authentication, local user and password here. And I think I did 3 or 4 configurations, but we'll have a look in Citrix Endpoint Management how that works. So first of all, a user of course needs to get the Workspace app, and there are several ways to do that. If you have Autopilot and Azure AD configured and make Citrix Endpoint Management the MDM system in your Azure AD configuration, you can use Microsoft Store for Business, and you can whitelist the Workspace app there, and the user will get the Workspace app pushed to the endpoint. Other scenarios and ways is that the user doesn't have an integration with Azure AD. Maybe you will use Windows 10 bulk enrollment to onboard your systems, or maybe you will provide your users with a manual on how to enroll, or maybe there are personal devices, so you will provide them with information on how to enroll into the system, and then they don't get the Workspace app directly pushed to the device.
So I did a little workaround on that. Normally you would push a web clip from CEM to it, but if you look at the demo environment and you use a default web clip policy, you get an ugly link just here with a browser icon and the name you configure there. That's not something you want to do. So what I did is I made use of our Windows 10 agent and our ability to push PowerShell scripts to the endpoint, and I have created a nifty little PowerShell script that will create a shortcut into the Windows Start menu named Get Workspace App for the user to be aware that he can click on it and he will be redirected to the microstore directly to the product ID. This is the product ID of the Workspace app, and this is the location where it will be created on the endpoint. And additionally, I have a little icon somewhere on some cloud storage that it will use to show in the start menu. So that's a little more dashier, nice looking way of giving the user the ability to get the app instead of going to the store and type in Citrix Workspace App and etc. So let's see if the icon is pushed. You see it here, Get Workspace App. If I click on it and everything is set up correctly, it will open the Microsoft Store. The Microsoft Store, there you go. It opens the Microsoft Store, and it should be redirecting directly to the Workspace app. So here it is, Workspace app. The user clicks Get. No, I don't want to sign in cross devices. This is just a demo, and it will start downloading. It will acquire our license and it will download. So if you have other applications or other ISV, also check if that provider will make the application available for offline distribution. Yeah, if that's the case, then you can download in the Microsoft Store for Business the APK file and the license, and then you can distribute the application as an enterprise app within Citrix Endpoint Management. And that's mostly for customers who don't go directly full in the cloud. So you will see Workspace app is here. Let's close that store, and if I'm correct, and we'll check my settings. Pin it to the start menu, always nice. If I get the correct information, there should already be some Citrix components configured, and you see the old naming still here. Citrix component ICA client. So these are the admx files I already pushed to the device. Now let's have a look at Citrix Endpoint Management and where it is. So if I go to configure, I already created an app config. If you didn't, you can just select Windows Desktop here and go for the app config here. Give it a name. Select Win32 app, browse, and then upload the Workspace app, Citrix Workspace app. Where are you? ADMX files in zip. It's possible. Click Add, and you will get all the drop downs again. So let's close this one. I already did a configuration. I will use the filter Workspace app. Here it is. Let's edit it. And you will see that I have some
configurations here. So the first one is the store Netscaler gateway storefront access account list. So that's the one in the group policy that we had here. And you will see that I copied and pasted our demo cloud in there. So this will be pre-populated for the user. The user will get a little notification on the bottom right that his app will be configured. What did we additionally configure on the Workspace app? We did that's number 2. That's the Citrix Workspace app updates. Because I have my screen a little lower, you don't see the whole string here. But if I have it full screen, you will see the whole string here. That's the Workspace app update. It's enabled. I can select the options here, auto or manually, and that's the similar configuration as here. So if I put it enabled, I can see here what does it mean and which updates I can do. So this is an easy way to compare it and to see what you want to configure in here. So I can set it to auto or leave it like that. Number 2 is the local username and password. So the user authentication, it's enabled, and I have enabled pass-through authentication. So that's similar as this one. Enable pass-through authentication. And what have we configured more? Number 3, that is, oh yeah, hide the support page. Just a little thing to configure for in the demo. So it should be under advanced preferences, Citrix Workspace self-service here, and enable first time use is the other one that I disabled. So hide support info, and we will check that later on. And the last one is enable first time use. So that's the information we all set. We will save it. It will be pushed to the device. Let me check. Do a refresh. So we already installed the application. Sync this for a minute. I will check my username there, because this is not one environment. These are 2 separate environments. So I won't be having the same username in the demo as here. So then we go to the Workspace app. It's installed here, it's pinned, and when I start it, there should be a notification here on the bottom right. You see it's in the Windows Information Protection policy. Then I push the device, got it, and here it is. Citrix is setting up, so this process will take a few minutes. So it will configure all the settings you have done. So the storefront information would be there. So let's see what's happening. So you see the Workspace is setting up the store, and it will pop up with my username and password. As I said, this is not and not the same environment. So let me see what the domain was for this. I think it was demo cloud. So it should be demo cloud / my username, and I think my password was this. And if that's correct, you will get the Workspace app start screen. So it's loading there. You see it's connected here. If I go to the connection center, you'll see that also nicely protected. There are my applications. If I go to the advanced preferences, you see that the info screen is gone. Let me see if I can show you or compare it with one that I have locally installed. So this is the right one, is the one locally installed, and you will see you're missing the support information. So that's the policy that's being removed. So what other settings did we do? We can check. So the storefront is populated in the settings. Well, we saw that the update is enabled. Don't know if we can check it. And we hide the support info. Yeah, that's basically what you can do. Let's see if I have some apps. So keep in mind this is a virtual machine, my demo machine. So I don't know how this is gonna perform. Yep. So this is the face demo, and it looks really nice. Yep, works. Close it, and you see the new files integration also. Well, let's see if I can. Let's see if I download what happens. And you'll see that it's because it's in the Windows Information Protection container, you're not able to save it any other than a work application. So yep, it's downloaded.
And here, so also it gives you a notification on which files it can open, because Word is also in the Windows Information Protection container. You should also see that here. Manage my work. That's really cool. So that was quickly how to configure and use the Workspace app. Thanks for tuning in again, and see you next time.